and welcome. I'm Gimba Omar. Tonight, Senate confirms Musliu Obanikoro as minister, brushes aside protests by the opposition party. Federal government says there is no evidence of ISIS presence in Nigeria, seeks support of Nigerians to defeat Boko Haram. INEC chairman meets resident electoral commissioners amidst protests by Abuja indigents on the use of the card readers for 2015 elections. And suspect in murder of Russian opposition politician says confession was forced.
On business news, the Nigerian Stock Exchange to play host to President Goodluck Jonathan on Thursday, March 12th.
Sports news, it's double celebration for the Flying Eagles following the team's qualification for the FIFA Under-20 World Cup and the semi-finals of the ongoing Africa Youth Championship.
The Senate today confirmed Musliu Obanikoro as minister, brushing aside allegations that Mr. Obanikoro allegedly played a key role in the purported election rigging in Ekiti State. There has been repeated deferments with opposition party, the All Progressives Congress, APC, staging a walkout. But as a former senator himself, the Senate allowed Mr. Obanikoro to take a bow and go without answering questions, a privilege reserved for former federal lawmakers.
And I'll simply put the question: is it the wish of the Senate that Senator Obanikoro should be allowed to take a bow and go? Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
For the All Progressives Congress, confirming Mr. Musliu Obanikoro is unethical as it is unacceptable. After staging a walkout on the floor, some members told journalists that the Senate leadership has clearly acted against the interests of the generality of the Senate. Our correspondent Amaka Okafo reports.
From Lagos objected to this nomination, the nomination of Obanikoro, Senator Obanikoro. And yet, the Senate President and his colleagues from the PDP decided to take advantage of their numbers to override what is supposed to be basically a very, very straightforward issue. So we really wonder whether we want to grow democracy in this country or want to destroy this democracy. I have said his action is a breach. He should have stayed to clear himself. The matter is in court, and one of the rules of the Senate is what? Where a matter is in court, Senate cannot deliberate on it.
And one wonders, what is the rush in trying to bring back a former Minister of Defense who has been alleged and clips shown that he compromised his office? It then shows that you oppose card readers, you oppose permanent voters card, you oppose everything that will make for a credible election, and you want to bring back somebody who is alleged to have been tainted by all evidence.
Well, the Senate has affirmed that the screening and confirmation exercise for Senator Musliu Obanikoro was a fair process. Briefing journalists after plenary, the Senate spokesman, Eyinaya Baribe, said that the Senate confirmed Senator Obanikoro as he has not been found culpable of any crime, neither has he been convicted in any court of competent jurisdiction.
Well, what we know, as a matter of fact, is that there are allegations against Senator Obanikoro. But in our law and in the Constitution of Nigeria, anything that is a mere allegation that is not in any way a court decision is nothing but a mere allegation. And every man in Nigeria, and every woman, and every citizen of Nigeria is deemed to be innocent until proven guilty. And even the senators who addressed the press conference and spoke about the qualification or non-qualification of Senator Obanikoro are enjoying this privilege because some of them have EFCC cases and they are still in the Senate because of this privilege of being innocent until proven guilty. And so they cannot go to a press conference and try to convict somebody when the person has not been convicted in a court of law. And they cannot enjoy that privilege themselves and sit in this Senate and then turn around and now say that somebody else cannot enjoy that privilege. And the laws of Nigeria is very clear. You are innocent until you are proven guilty, and that is what played out on the floor of the Senate. And the Senate, in its wisdom, having known that this is the law of Nigeria and this is the Constitution of Nigeria, and that every Nigerian is entitled to this privilege, went ahead to do what it is supposed by law to do, which is confirmation of somebody that is on the floor of the Senate who has not been convicted of anything.
The Senate spokesman, Eyinaya Baribe. Now, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Atahiru Jega, has asked President Electoral Commissioners to be more focused in order to deliver free, fair and credible polls. The INEC boss was speaking to his comrades behind closed doors in Abuja. He pointed out that while Nigerians yearn for credible elections, they also have a role to play, and the Commission is prepared to do its best. He pointed out that all Nigerians have a role to play in ensuring the conduct of elections that will be acceptable to all. The meeting, according to Professor Atahiru Jega, is aimed at reviewing outstanding issues and whether there are still gaps to be filled before the elections.
Resident electoral commissioners at a meeting with the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, on how to deliver free, fair and credible elections. The chairman of the commission advised the commissioners to put in their best in the conduct of the polls.
We need to remain focused and resilient, and we need to do everything possible to ensure that the elections scheduled for March 28th and April 11th are indeed substantially much better than the elections that were conducted in 2011 and in the subsequent by-elections since 2011.
For some Nigerians who are still pessimistic about the elections, Professor Jega has this to say.
I want to use this opportunity to reassure all Nigerians that we in the Commission are doing our best, and our best will be good enough in terms of meeting the aspirations of Nigerians for free, fair, and credible elections. The best we have said constantly, everybody has a role to play in ensuring free, fair, credible, and peaceful elections.
While the meeting with the commissioners continued behind closed doors, a group called the Original Abuja Inhabitants staged a protest outside the commission over the use of card readers in the general elections.
The guy lied to Nigerians that he was ready for February 14 election. Was it not a lie?
He was holding mock election on Saturday. If he was ready for elections, why does he have to hold mock election now? What we are saying is that the PVC machine is a total fraud.
Attempts by the Assistant Director, Security of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Mr. Victor Egbo, to address the protesters was resisted. Although the meeting, according to Professor Jega, is aimed at reviewing outstanding issues relating to the permanent voters' cards and field testing of the card readers, among other issues, the protest by the inhabitants may be an indication that the Commission has more work to do to convince Nigerians on the importance of card readers for the general elections.
Now, supporters of the All Progressives Congress APC and the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, in River State have clashed over allegations of plans to manipulate the elections there. Other party members who staged protests at the office of the Independent National Electoral Commission accused each other of working with INEC in the state to carry out the plans. Our correspondent Emmanuel Eriyi reports.
Youths protesting in the streets of Port Harcourt, River State, in what could be termed a test of will. APC and PDP supporters take their concerns to INEC in the state. A clash ensues as both parties want their issues addressed at the same time. The police try to control the situation as the groups attempt to overpower each other.
Concluded voters PVC cards distribution shows clearly that INEC has arranged to rig the election in favor of a particular political party, which is APC. Because we don't understand why INEC will come and tell us that a trouble-ridden northeast in Nigeria, where we have Boko Haram wiping out a entire community, that distribution of voters registration was at the highest point.
It's supposed to be a peaceful process, procession by 17 registered political parties in River State, including my party, APC. We are on our way to the INEC office when we met a PDP talks.
For the resident electoral commissioner, the allegations by both groups of party supporters are unfounded and insists that INEC remains a non-partisan body.
I'm very happy today that APC is accusing me, PDP is accusing me. When I mean me, INEC, which means we are neutral. Because if both parties had not accused us, it would have meant that we're taking sides. So from today, my dear, if you have any complaint against any staff, let me know. We don't have time again. The election is very, very close.
I am standing on the ever-busy Aba Road in Port Harcourt. The crowd has eventually dispersed. The road is now free, unusually free behind me. But whether the issues have been settled between the APC and the PDP as regards INEC's position in the coming elections remains to be seen. Emmanuel Eriyi, Channels Television News.
You're watching the news at 10. In part 2, after the break, federal government denies presence of ISIS in Nigeria. That's in a moment. Please join us again.